customers. And I'm like, God, I got to do something. I can't watch this anymore. I got to say something. You know? Everybody should come to Luke. You know, let him work on you. I wrote a.
Thank you.
I wrote a. What did I write? A
testimonial.
I wrote a testicle on his website. If you go over to his Alexander90210.com.
Is it okay? Like, can I work with like porn women? Because like they're often.
I'm not a posketing Rav. You need to get all this. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I don't know halacha like that. I don't posket.
But can I like pitch pornographers? Say, hey, listen up, porno babes.
Oh, you mean you want to go to pornography people?
Yeah, pitch them.
Oh, you know what you could do is go to lukefort.com.
Yeah, and
put a big
ad.
Big ass ad on the front.
Yeah.
Well, you know, do that.
But I mean, I keep wondering, like, who are my people? Like, you know, where am I accepted? And
no, I think the question is, to be honest, is who have you not offended? Try to make a short list. No,
that's a tough one. I really can't think.
You have to go to fellow Prager people because these are the only people who.
No, they don't like me.
They don't like you. The other thing you have to ask is, not everybody has even heard of Alexander, which I told you is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Like a chiropractor doesn't have to sell chiropractics to you because he figures you already heard of it, right? But nobody's ever heard of Alexander. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to explain to people what it is and then sell yourself. Right, so it's a two-step process. That's not easy.
I have an ethics question for you. So a few months ago, I heard Dennis Prager on the radio, and he's talking about "I love little boys." He said, I know people are going to make fun of me for saying this, but I love little boys. I love mentoring them, being a strong father figure to them, and so I made a video. The headline of the video was "Dennis Prager loves little boys." And then all these people got on my case saying I was trying to malign Dennis Prager's reputation. But I just, all I did was, say what Dennis had said, and that he wasn't afraid to come out and say that, even though people, will use it and twist it. And, he talked about his attitude of being, a strong, good, moral force in boys' lives. But, do you think, titling a video, Dennis Prager loves little boys, do you think that was, inappropriate or maligning of his reputation?
I think you could have done better.
Even though he said on the radio, I love little boys. Direct word. I love little boys. He didn't mean anything wrong or improper to get your mind out of the gutter, but so I thought, that was a fair blog post.
Then if he actually said it, then I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, that's what I thought. But people going, you're maligning his reputation. Okay, I got a question for you. Can I pull up my site?
We should get to the Parashat.
Yeah, so this week's Torah portion is 2 Torah portions, actually.
No, there's only one this week.
I thought there were 2.
Mm-mm. Just one.
Oh, whoops. So, anyway, I got this email. My neighbor is an Orthodox Jew. I'm Jewish as well, though not as religious, and he told me that his beliefs prohibited him from, quote, talking business in front of his wife. Knowing some strong and financially astute Orthodox women, I've had trouble believing that. If the scripture is true, where does it come from in the Bible or the Talmud? Is this true? Does
Can't talk business in front of your wife?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the mafia rules.
Yeah.
And I never heard of it. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but I don't know from it. I've never seen it, and I never heard anybody mention that before.
Yeah.
I've never read it. I don't know anything. I don't know where that would come from. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that Rabbi Raps doesn't know about it.
I remember I was once being interviewed, and this person was saying, why are you giving Paul Fishbein such a hard time? Paul Fishbein published AVN magazine.
Oh.
And I said, I like Paul Fishbein. And the journalist said to me, well, you certainly have a funny way of showing it. And I've never forgotten that response. Here's this guy, a journalist, a stranger, total stranger to me, just read some of my blog posts. But he saw a certain twisted nature to the way that I express affection. You and I have been together for a long time. Do you think that I have a funny way of showing affection?
You've touched me today during the show about
Very
4.
deeply.
No, but you touched me with your hand like 4 or 5 times.
Normally you're always doing that.
You've never touched me before, and I noticed that you were touching me like 4 or 5 times. You started getting a little bit like more affectionate because you're usually very withdrawn. You're not touchy feely.
Yeah, I'm not.
You don't touch people.
Yeah, I don't.
You know.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like, oh, he's trying something new now. He's coming out of his shell or something. Do I do that a lot? I do like this.
Yeah.
So I don't even think about it. I do that. Yeah.
So we only have one Torah portion this week.
Yes. Vayechi.
What about Vayegash?
That was last week.
Whoops.
It's all right.
Okay.
This is the final portion of this
Book of Genesis.
We're finishing.
So I was reciting Shacharit, the morning prayers this morning.
Okay.
And I was doing it from a Chabad Siddur.
Okay.
And I noticed that, like it talks early on in the prayer book, there are certain mitzvahs for which you're both rewarded in this life and the world to come, like setting aside a corner of your field for the Lord.
Yeah.
And then one of the mitzvahs that it mentioned was to dower the bride.
Yeah. By the way, that's not just the Chabad Siddur. That's
Right.
everybody.
But there was the Chabad
actually,
English translation, dower the bride.
That's actually that's a Mishnah.
Mm-hmm. But I'd never heard the English expressed in English as dower the bride. And it was like very early in the morning and I wasn't fully awake. And somehow I thought I'd just read as a mitzvah to deflower the bride.
No.
I thought, whoa, things are looking up. And then I reread it, and it's to dower the bride, and that's to help a woman to get married. So, folks, when it says dower the bride, it does not mean deflower the bride.
Thank you for that, because I've been learning it wrong for the last 50 years.
Okay, so Rabbi Beryl Wine writes, the book of Bereshit, Genesis, ends this week on a seemingly upbeat note. The family of Jacob united.
Wait, can I just say something?
Please.
Are we going to do like 100 different Beryl Wine quotes today?
Let's do one or two.
Okay, here's the thing on this. Every week it's Beryl Wine, Beryl Wine, Beryl Wine, Beryl Wine, Beryl Wine, Beryl Wine.
I could use Dennis Prager or Ari Kahn.
No. But I think, if you're going to just read off from this Zionist every week, then it's only fair that we make fair and balanced, that you read a few of those and I'll read a couple from Rabbi Miller.
You've had most of the past hour. Now I get to say something.
Okay, but when you're done, I'm going to be reading from Rabbi Miller.
You've had most of the past hour.
No, I haven't. You've been telling us about all these women that,
You've had 75% of the past hour.
Oh, that is bull.
I'm fine with it. What percent do you think you've had?
I think it's been about 50-50.
Okay, folks. Decide for yourself.
Okay, go ahead. But I'm going to, after you've done a few, I'm going to do a Rabbi Miller. Okay, go.
Okay, the family of Jacob, united and now more numerous, live in an apparently friendly Egyptian environment, rather smugly protected by their political influence in their growing wealth. I thought that was so astute. It's like, we think, we've got a lot of political influence, you don't mess with the Jews in America. We've got a lot of money, we're pretty powerful, we're protected. But things can turn on a dime.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned in Daf Yomi that while it's generally a bad idea for somebody to immediately marry after the death of a spouse or after a divorce, in certain circumstances it is a good thing. For instance, if you need a wife to look after your kids. And I heard this story about one rabbi who buried his wife in the cemetery and then immediately married another wife in that same cemetery that same day. Now, that's not a traditional Jewish custom, but...
Where'd you hear that story? Is that...
I heard it.
I
can't give you quotes.
I don't even understand how that's possible, because the guy's sitting Shiva. So how
he needed a wife to look after his kids.
But it says halachically you're not allowed to get married when you're in mourning. It's like, for instance, you can't have weddings during Sphere Omer. Are you aware of that?
Right.
Because we're in mourning, we don't do weddings, right? We don't do we don't do weddings during the 3 weeks leading up to Tisha B'Av, because those are like types of mourning. There doesn't get to be more of a type of a mourning than when you're sitting Shiva for your dead wife. That is called mourning. So how could he do a wedding that day? I have a problem with that.
He got a header from a major rav.
That's what I was thinking. He got a header from a major rav. Wait, how does he do that? I don't. Is this something from the Talmud? Because I've not heard this story before. I've not read this. Which rabbi was it? Was he Orthodox rabbi?
I think so, but...
no, come on, give me the details of the story. Because
I just heard the story. I don't remember the details.